What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2024 Jeep Wrangler. This one is a Rubicon with the 35-inch Extreme tire package. MSRP is $70,500, finished off in the paint color Earl. Big shout out to Garber Jeep for providing this new SUV for today's video. Take a look at their website, links down below. Let's get right into this $70,000 off-road SUV, see what the Wrangler has to offer. Underneath the hood of the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, you're going to find that naturally aspirated 3.6 liter 6-cylinder motor. This engine pushes out 285 horsepower with 260 pound-feet of torque. It's also paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and of course has a 4-wheel drive transfer case. Curb weight is around 4,600 pounds. It can tow 5,000 pounds. And running on a 21.5 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 16 miles per gallon in the city with 19 out on the highway. The overall length is 188.4 inches with a wheelbase at 118.4, width is 73.9, and height is 75.1 inches. The Rubicon with the 35-inch Extreme package also has approach angle of 47 degrees, breakover angle of 27 degrees, ground clearance is 12.9 inches, and then departure angle is 40 degrees. Moving on to the styling with this 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, this certainly is a pretty aggressive looking off-roader, especially with those 35-inch tires. You got a nice blacked out design as well. I love the LED headlights in that traditional shape, and then you can see the blacked out front grille with these 7 vertical slots. We do have a forward-facing camera, nice mesh to provide cooling to that engine. And then down below you have a plastic front bumper. There are LED fog lights, some gray trim, then you have the red metal tow hooks up above. Down below you do get somewhat of a skid plate. You can see that solid front axle and a lot of the suspension as well as the tread on the tires. And then of course, traditional for Jeep, you got these massive front fender flares. LED lights on them as well. The Wrangler still utilizes that same traditional front end design, so really familiar vehicle, can't go wrong at all. And as we make our way closer to the side profile, you're going to see the hood with the Rubicon written out on a nice graphic. You got your manual hood latches as well. Nice heat extraction vent as well as some rubber bumpers for when you fold down that windshield. You're going to see that trail rated logo on the side with Jeep, American flag, and Wrangler. And then a nice close-up of the tread pattern with these sweet wheels. You got that beadlock capable design, old school Jeep logo right in the center, split 5-spoke, really nice look. And they fill out the fender arches very well. There's also an extra part, that way these wider tires can actually fit nicely without destroying your paint from all the rock chips. You're going to see a nice set of frame sliders down below, powder coated in black, and then we have the plastic black for the grab handles as well as your mirror caps. This one has the body color roof with the one touch, so you're going to have that soft top panel in the top, which is a really cool touch. And then for the side profile, of course, it's a boxy SUV, really retro looking, hasn't really changed since the beginning, but nonetheless, it's unmistakable as a Wrangler. Does have a pretty sweet look. Now these third windows are actually removable, which is a great touch, especially when you open up the roof. You can see the addition to the fender flares in back, and then the fenders fade into this plastic rear bumper. You're gonna have your exhaust tip tucked away over on the right side, and then we have the trailer hitch right in the center with all the plugs. There's also a metal tow hook on the far left side with your license plate, grab handle for the swing gate, and this one has the full-size spare tire with the reinforcement piece on the back. You can see the third brake light up above, the glass panel, definitely a really good looking rear as you would expect, and then we have the fuel cap over on the left side. Taking a look at the key fob, we get lock, unlock, remote start, and your panic button. You get Jeep on the back side and even a manual key if needed. If we go ahead and lock it, you can just grab the door handle, it will automatically unlock, and we can take a look at the interior. You're going to get a nice gray fabric interior with some red accents. You have black throughout the door panel with this soft touch padded material on the armrest, grab handle in the top as well as bottom. Bottom one assists you in removing these door panels. You also got a storage net down below, lock and unlock, mirror controls as well as a release handle, and then all manual controls on these seats. You do have the nice red stitching, cool looking design for the fabric, and you even get Rubicon embroidered onto that backrest. Nice 3-spoke design for the leather wrapped steering wheel, Jeep right in the center, and then nice contrast red stitching. Now inside the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Got that updated screen turning on, and then a nice depiction for the center. On the left side, you're going to see that tachometer along with your transfer case, LCD screen in the center, and then speedometer on the right side. For the center, we do have that digital readout for speed. You can continue down, and then each menu has a ton of different vitals you're able to take a look at. Continuing down, you have some off-road information, and then you can also see pitch and roll. We can continue down to driver's assist, fuel economy information, and then a few others. So quite a lot of information in here. However, definitely get pretty much everything that you're gonna need. You can take a look at the steering wheel. You have those controls, some Bluetooth and audio controls, and then cruise controls on the right side. The right stalk is gonna be for all the windshield wipers. Left stalk is for turn signals. And then down below all that, we do have our headlight controls. You also have interior lighting, and then a nice depiction of modern Jeeps. You got one of your air vents on this left side, this cool vinyl material with the red color accents, a little bit of faux stitching across the dashboard, extra storage, and then I really like this vinyl material with that red. You got your grab handle over on the other side with some more of the soft touch material and stitching, and then Jeep's up-to-date infotainment screen is pretty nice. You're gonna see a configurable screen right here. You can add different widgets. You have some shortcuts along the top as well. You can go into here, see a few different shortcuts. You have some heating information on the left side as well. Media control will pop up. You have comfort for all your climate control settings. Very easily you can adjust your zone, heated seats and steering wheel, fan speed. Got a nice full screen navigation that will pop up as well. Phone integration. And then if we go under vehicle, you have some cool features. So under controls, you can take a look at your forward camera. So really good view there. You can also go into that rear view camera. And then we have settings you can scroll through, see all sorts of different information. And then the off-road pages. We have that steering angle, the differentials, all that status, accessory gauges you're able to take a look at, massive pitch and roll, and then back to our cameras. So certainly very well equipped for off-roading as expected. And you can also adjust several different items. Of course, when you go into reverse, that backup camera will automatically pop up, and then you can toggle to the front camera. Down below that, we have 2 air vents and then physical climate controls. We have our volume on the left, fan speed right in the center. Then you're also going to see tuning on that far right side, dual zone temperature, all the heater controls, auto start, stop, and mute, and then the downhill assist. Now down below that, we have our 4 window controls. We also have a 12-volt extra plugs down here. And then down here, we have the front and rear locking differentials, sway bar disconnect, off-road plus, extra auxiliary gauges, and then our gear select right in the center. Got the old school Jeep on it, manual shift mode, transfer case right here going all the way down into a 4 low. Then we have storage for cups, phones, and key fob, manual park and brake, a little bit of soft touch material for the armrest, and then 2 different sections of the glove box. Nice glove box on the right side as well. You can pop that open. And then one last look. Rubicon still looks really nice. Hasn't really been crazy updated in quite some time, but overall, it's a pretty sweet vehicle to be in. Now with that one-touch roof, you can see the fabric up above. You got some dome lights and speakers. We have those controls up here. So if I just hold this one back, you're gonna see that entire roof coming back. So definitely a sweet option to have for the Wrangler. And then we have a nice thin mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, grab the door handle, open it up. Door panels finish off similar to the front. You're just gonna get all the black with a little bit of soft touch. You also get that under grab handle. You have the same seats back here with the contrast red stitching. You can seat 3 people. There's also a headrest right in the center. And then you have 2 air vents in the center along with your window controls, a few different plugs, cup holders down below that, and then some storage nets behind these seats. As far as maneuvering these seats, you have 2 levers back here. One of them is just gonna pop these headrests down for better driver visibility. And then you can pull the larger of these 2 levers to get these seats folded nice and flat to gain better access into the cargo space. Hopping into the backseat of the Wrangler Rubicon with the roof opened up, you got miles of headroom for all the passengers. I kind of prefer this roof over the standard hardtop or the manual folding soft top. This is the way to go. So from back here, it's not that bad, honestly. The seat's decently comfortable. I do have good legroom and knee room with the seat at my height. Headroom with the roof closed is actually pretty good. The roof itself is quite a bit taller than your head. So not too bad. You do have a lot of windows over on this left side. It's an interesting interior given you can remove these panels, take the doors off. Obviously this is very different than any other vehicle aside from a Bronco. So you can see a lot of the structure of the vehicle. It's a very unique vehicle, but nonetheless you have the amenities back here, good enough space, and I really can't go wrong even if you want to use this as a family focused SUV. Moving on to the cargo space, you can just grab that handle back here and pull the door outwards, and then from here you're going to manually lift open the glass. So that is everything nice and opened up. You do have some cool stats about the Wrangler on the gate itself. And then in here you have a pretty decent amount of storage space, obviously not the greatest. We got that massive Alpine subwoofer. You can even open up the floor for extra storage, and then these are areas to put all the bolts for the different hinges. You can see part of that exposed roll cage of the framing of the vehicle with the whole structure even painted in the body color. And then here are the latches along with some of the screws to remove these side windows. Now from here, if you can reach, you can pull this handle down and get these seats completely out of the way and take a look at the extra storage space. So with this all the way pushed forward, you can get a better idea of how much space you're gonna get in the back of a four-door Wrangler. From here, you just manually close the glass and then grab the swing gate and close everything back together. All right, setting off now in the Jeep Wrangler. This is a pretty cool vehicle to drive with the 35-inch tire package. It looks really sweet. That does mean that you drive it and you gotta keep fighting it going straight. These are not exactly the best on-road vehicles. They really shine when you're hitting the off-road trails. They're really, really capable, especially with solid axles, locking diffs, all this crazy technology, and just the physical design of a solid axle vehicle like this. This is a really good off-roader. But when you're on normal driving, it's not that bad. You don't really hear any tire noise. You just kind of hear wind noise, I would say. It's a little on the noisy side. And then, like I said, you are fighting the steering just a little bit to keep this vehicle going straight. Now, with the visibility, you can easily see out of the front. Great view all around. Left and right shoulders are equally as good. So a really nice setup with the visibility and everything. And then as we get up and go with the V6 and that 8-speed, it's not exactly a fast vehicle. If you want a fast one, get a 392. This one though, I wouldn't say it's bad. Again, it's not fast, but it's not slow. It does what it needs to do. It's kind of a normal vehicle. It gets up to speed like any typical SUV. Now the one-touch roof I like a lot. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, but this just gives you endless headroom. It looks amazing when you're driving in here. And I guess we'll go ahead and pass this guy. Let's see, you still got the power to pass someone. And with this, I mean, you just got that headroom. It looks awesome in here. It feels amazing. Of course, taking the doors off, you just have that open experience, which is hard to find. Not many vehicles will do this. And then just one touch, we're back to close. So with the Wrangler, you know, it's one of those vehicles where it's not gonna be for everybody. This is a super unique driving experience to where on road, it's a little cumbersome, a little bit of a hindrance compared to your typical vehicle. But it's fun. It's something you can drive and smile and just kind of go on some adventures that you wouldn't normally be able to do in a typical vehicle. Technology all works great too. I really don't have any issues with using these new screens. I think it looks great, having the physical controls down below, all the tech down below. So it's easy to use, it's easy to operate. It's a very simple vehicle overall. They haven't really changed anything in decades, just updating the tech basically and tweaking the style here and there. But overall driving experience, it's what you would expect. It's not great on the road, but it's good enough to do what you need to do. And when you hit those off-road trails, you're gonna have a heck of a lot of fun. Seats are decently comfortable, all manual, but you still have all the controls you're gonna need to get them in a good spot. So my honest thoughts and perspectives with the Jeep Wrangler as we hit a little bit of gravel on this driveway, getting out, all the off-roading we're gonna do in a new vehicle. But these things are fun. Now there are downsides. They don't drive really all too good on the road. They are kind of all over the place. They're very vague for steering. If you're used to any street-focused vehicle, this is gonna drive a lot different. Now, the Ford Bronco is the only competitor to this. It drives a lot better on the road, especially with its independent front suspension. So if you want a better driving experience, the Bronco is a little better. However, this having the solid axles all around, it makes it to where this is even more capable off-road. Not to say 95% of buyers are gonna really even use these capabilities, but for the few people, which still is a large percentage of Jeep owners, for the people who are gonna buy these and go true off-roading, nothing really quite matches a Jeep Wrangler. These are the best for off-roading, and they have been around for so long. There's such a fan base with them. If you already love a Jeep Wrangler, you're gonna continue to love them. You're not gonna really care about the competition. So these things have such a fan base, and it doesn't even matter who hates on them or who says bad things about them, because the following is so strong. So even anything that I can nitpick about this, completely irrelevant. Jeep buyers are gonna keep buying these. But this thing makes you smile. I love the 35s. It's a really good sized tire for hitting the trails. We've off-roaded in a few stock Wranglers, and they are incredibly capable. So when you throw on the Rubicon package with upgraded tires, I mean, this thing is going to do pretty much anything you ask it and then some right out of the box. That's what's quite impressive. Right out of the gate, this thing can conquer so many off-road terrains and obstacles. So it's a really fun and capable vehicle. And like I said, you're going to sacrifice a little bit of that on-road driving. But when you're in it, I mean, it's roomy enough, it's comfortable enough, and it's just a cool experience. With the roof open, the doors off, it totally changes the characteristics, and you can just be smiling, going on a crazy adventure, and just having fun. You know, vehicles these days, a lot of them are getting very boring. There's a lot of electric cars that are pretty much all the exact same. I like how Jeep is still giving you something super unique and super old school. They don't make them like this anymore. This is literally the definition of old school, especially with its technology, just the way it's built. Now, the biggest thing to talk about, I would say, is the pricing. This is $70,000 with a basic sluggish V6, cloth seats, and an incredibly old design, to where honestly I highly doubt it costs much to build one of these, given it's so simple. It's a body on frame and there's not really much body to it. So it's such a simple vehicle, it's kind of crazy that they are this expensive. And if you get the V8, the 392, that thing's $100,000. There's also the 4-cylinder turbo, which isn't a bad option as well, and then the 4xe, which is the plug-in hybrid, which is also pretty cool. But they're not cheap. I mean, even a basic 2-door base model is still like 30 to 40 grand, which you can buy some nice equipped vehicles for that kind of money. So for this one being 70 grand, that puts this right in line with the new Toyota Land Cruiser, which is a significantly nicer interior, nicer riding on the road, way more powerful turbo hybrid engine, probably better quality, and really good off-road capabilities. So Jeep's asking a lot, I would say. The Land Cruiser's a beast. I love that thing. This is old, and yet it is the same price. But like I mentioned earlier, I think Jeep buyers are still going to just stick with the Jeep Wrangler because they love them, and they're just simpler. So it's one of those vehicles where you either love it or you hate it, and it doesn't really matter if you don't like it, because people are going to be buying these. Big shout out once again to Garber Jeep for providing this off-roader for today's video. Check out their website, linked down below, and then be sure to hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video.